Hey everyone, I thought I'd put together a quick little Google Earth tutorial video. Some of you don't really use it, and it's a very powerful tool and a great resource, so I thought I would go over a few things. Some of you probably already know this, but others that don't, you might be able to get something out of it. So I'll just review a few things, and then at the end I'll kind of show you how I use it in flight. So a quick overview, you've got search. You can search things just like in Google Maps. You can search hotels and stuff here, but we're not going to talk about that. You've got various layers and stuff down here, which you can turn on international borders. Let's see, state, city, county borders, cities, populated places, all kinds of stuff. I usually kind of just keep it like this. You don't want it to be too busy or it gets to be kind of a mess and it kind of bogs down and slows down. So I'll minimize this. You can also, these things, once this is expanded, you can kind of drag these around. But once you have it set, it's best to just minimize them, I think. So you'd be amazed at what types of KMZ files are available for free on the internet just by doing a Google search of whatever, whatever restaurants or core stations or airports or restricted areas, anything, everything except for SmartNet stations from Leica. That's the only thing I can't get. I've emailed them about that. But anyway, I'll show you, like you just click these boxes. Uh, well, first of all, I guess the main thing in Google Earth is staying organized and creating folders. Once you create a folder, you can put folders inside of that folder to stay organized and rename them. So let's say I want to add a folder here. I'll just call it a test. Enter. Then you can put another folder inside of this folder, November for your flight date or whatever. You after you create a folder or move anything around, you want to make sure you file, save my places. If I were to close this right now, that stuff would not be saved unless I save my places first. So that just once you realize it's all about staying organized, your folders and saving, that's a huge part of it. So I'm just going to delete this because we don't need that. Okay, so time zones right here. That means it's finding that on the internet. So some of this functionality you'll need internet for. That is something I just downloaded. That's some personal items I have. Here's all my work stuff for previous projects, or well, I have previous projects in here, old projects. So here's all the old projects I've worked on. Here are all the core stations in the United States. If I click that, that's 1 second, 5 second, plus this little legend. If this is the NOAA legend, I can turn that off by ticking these boxes. If we don't want to use 5 second, we can turn all 5 seconds. There's all the 1 second core stations, which you can download pretty easily. Let's see, restricted airspace. That's all of the restricted airspace in the United States by different categories. So there's all the MOAs. You can zoom into these, and I think you can click on them. Yeah, and it'll tell you right here, Westover, 2SR, Florida 10,000, etc. MOAs, prohibited. There's some prohibited spaces. What else we got here? Restricted airspaces, and then you've got Class D, C, and B. This is just I just downloaded restricted airspace KMZ or searched for that, and it came up on Google, and I just save it in here. It comes in handy. What else do we have? Sectionals. Same thing. I just typed in aviation sectional KMZ download, and these came right up. So let's go VFR. Let's do, I'm in San Antonio right now, so you can put that one on, and there you go. You can turn your project on, and it will put the lines right over. Let's go Collins update. flight lines, there's the orange are already completed, black haven't been flown yet. So just to show you, I'll turn that back off. So VFR, San Antonio, let's do a IFR low. Now these I don't use these in the air, but on the ground sometimes it comes in handy. And this, I believe, needs internet access. So there's your IFR low charts. Let me turn this off. Oops. You will notice if once you get a large file KMZ with a lot going on, it slows down quite a bit. So I just keep everything off unless that's what I need. Here's all the airports in the United States, military airports, civil airports. These are organized by state. So if you turn these all on, it slows everything down quite a bit. So I'll just turn on Texas. There's every airport in Texas. You can zoom in on these, click, you can get more info. But you need internet access to get more info. That's going to open up a web browser. So that's just a quick few things. It's a great resource. Here is the project I'm on right now. Colin has been sending out these KMZs every couple days, which are great. I love that. If you click that, that is the whole project. Orange is complete. Green have been flown, but not confirmed as good yet. Red are reflights. I made a little block over. These are what our partner companies are in charge of this area. I just did that for my own reference. And let's see. So let's turn all that off. And so lastly, I'll wrap this up with how I keep track of stuff. So I'm on 14, so I make a folder for November 1-4 November whiskey right here. Inside of that, I make a folder for each day when I go fly. Inside of each folder, if I'm in multiple blocks, I'll make another folder for the blocks. And you don't have to do this necessarily, but I just like to keep it super organized. And so on November 1st, that's what we flew right there. November 2nd, we flew that. November 3rd, we flew that. November 6th, we flew that. No reflights. These were some reflights we picked up from previously. That's why they're so short. And let me turn all this off. So that's, daily on a flight, that's what I do. I make a folder with the date, and then I will get these lines from the flight lines, which I guess I have them in here. So I will, if we're in, for example, let's see, 2B, I'll create a folder 2B, and then when we fly it, I'll go up to the folder 2B and either select the line we flew and just drag it into the folder I created for the date, or you can, sometimes if these large projects with a lot of lines, it's a lot of dragging, and so I will just cut or copy, depending on how you want to keep this organized. I usually just cut and then go down here to where my date is, and then hit paste, and then it will be in there. So you can either and then you need to change the color so they stay organized. So these have all been changed to orange. You can change them one at a time just by right-clicking, properties, style, and you can change the color right here to whatever color. Or you can kind of do them all at once, the whole folder, right-click, properties, and then if they're different colors, it'll ask you if you want to make them all the same color, and you can share the style and do them all at once, change all the colors at once, and you can change them, make them thicker, you can make them change the opacity. This is where you would change clamp to ground or up in the air. I don't really mess with that. Anyway, I could go into a lot more detail, but I thought I'd just do a quick little kind of 5-minute thing. And oh yeah, I added these block names. And yeah, so that's kind of it in a nutshell. And